Hey, what's up, my party people? This is Miss Samantha, and this video is going to teach current seventh grade students how to register for classes for 25-26 as eighth graders. Okay, so at the top of your card, which should be green, mine's white just because I'm still online, but it should have eighth grade at the top here with the correct year. And then your course class requests are going to be due online February 14th. So you have just about 2 weeks to mull this over and make your selections. So right here at the top of the card, we've got our required classes. So just like in previous grades, you're going to have an ELA class, a math class, science, and a social studies class, which is US history in eighth grade. You'll also have a required digital literacy class and APE requirement. Now we're doing things a little bit differently this year. We're trying this out. So we're going to offer options for your PE requirement. So you're going to rank with order of preference 1 to 3 what your PE preference might be. So your options are PE team sports, strength and conditioning, and dance, the appropriate level for whatever you've already taken or not taken. So if you haven't taken dance here with Miss Homer yet, it would be dance 1. Maybe you've already taken dance 1, it would be dance 2 or dance 3, etc. But I'll show you on the Google form where you'll rank your PE options. Down here, we've got, of course, our elective classes, which are really, really exciting. We're asking you to rank your top 7 elective choices. So go through, you'll see here where it says credit. If it has 0.5 credits, that means it's a semester class or half a year. And then if anything has a 1.0 next to it, that means it's a full year class. So you generally have 2 credits worth to play with. So that might be 4 semester classes, 2 year-long classes, or a combination, depending on what your preferences are. So I'll show you that on the Google form as well. Then something special for eighth graders is not only are you still eligible to be a peer tutor in eighth grade, but you also could be eligible to be a student aide. So for both of these, requirements are no D's or F's in academics and no N's or U's in citizenship. And then you need to submit an application online here. There's a Google form link, and I'll show you where that leads to as well. Here's our information for our DLI students. A reminder that based on your state testing MAP scores, you may or may not be placed in either a reading support class or a math support class, depending on your score and if they kind of indicate that you need that support. So that's something just to keep in mind. Then on the back of your card, you'll see all of these class descriptions. So if you're wondering what the heck they get up to in coding and robotics, just come on back here, look at the description. And then if you want even more information, talk to, in this case, Mr. Lopez, the teacher that teaches the class, for some more information. Okay, so when you are ready, you've gone through this with your parent or guardian. You've talked through your choices together and they approve of everything. You'll head to this Google form, either with the QR code or the link. So that will bring me here. This is where I'm going to submit my class request. I am not going to hand in that green card. That is just for you to work out what your choices are going to be, and you input that information into this Google form. So I'm going to double check that at the top here, it's the correct year and it's eighth grade. Perfect. So I'm going to put my email address in because at the end of this Google form, when I hit submit, it's going to send me a receipt of all of my answers. So that's what that's for. I'm going to input my name as it appears on Skyward. Now, I might go by a preferred name. Maybe I go by my middle name. That's great. You can put that in there, but we also need to know what your name is in Skyward, and that's just so we can find you and accurately put your classes in, okay? So happy to put your preferred name in there, but also we need to know how to find you. Okay, so my first name and my last name's in there. Put in my date of birth. Very good. If you know your student ID number, hint, hint, it should be on your badge. You can put that in there. And if you don't, just make sure, again, that your Skyward name is correct and we can find you that way. Then, of course, I'm doing this with my parent or guardian. So put their name in, they're kind of signing this as well, that they review and approve of all these choices that we're about to make. This next part asks, do I have an IEP or a 504 accommodation plan in place? If you are not sure what that means, that might mean for an IEP, you might be in a class with Miss Wild, Miss Hamilton, Miss Walgren, or one of our other awesome special education teachers, that could be. Or you might be taking, speech. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about with a 504 or an IEP, you probably don't have one. So if I have an IEP, I'll click there. If I have a 504, I'll click here. And if I have neither, I just leave it blank. Then I'm going to hit next. So this is a reminder of all of the classes I'm going to be signing up for automatically, unless I indicate otherwise in this Google form. So unless you request something different, you will be enrolled in an on-level ELA class, on-level math, science, US history, a semester of digital literacy, and a semester of a PE requirement, which again, I'll show you how to rank that in just a moment. If you are going to be opting out or replacing a required class, that needs your parent approval. They need to fill out a certain form on this link right here. Next, just a reminder about perhaps you might need a reading and or a math support class, and that would replace an elective if that was the case. Okay, so here's where I can put in if I would like to take an honors or an advanced class. So honors ELA, here's your option here. If you want honors, click that box. If you would like honors math in 8th grade, you click that box. If I don't want either one, it'll be blank. This last one is brand new. So up until this year, they just changed this at the district. There used to be a program that 6th grade students could take 7th grade math in a condensed online way from about March to June. And if you did that and completed it and passed, you would be placed in 8th grade math in 7th grade. That is no longer the case. So now instead, 6th graders have on-level or honors options. 7th graders have on-level or honors options. For 8th grade now, you can choose between on-level, honors, which is this one, or this new class, which is an advanced condensed math, both 8 and 9. So what this class is, it's all of 8th grade math and all of 9th grade math smushed together and condensed into 1 year. So as you can imagine, it's going to go very quickly. Math really needs to be your bread and butter. You really love math. You work really hard. And this, if you pass, you will be eligible to be in what's considered 10th grade math in 9th grade when you head on to high school. So we'd really encourage you to definitely talk about this with your parent or guardian, and also talk about it with your math teacher to see if that would be appropriate for you. This is going to be for a handful or two of students. It's not going to be for the majority. So I'm interested in taking honors ELA, but maybe math's not really my thing. I'll choose that and then I'll move on. If you have questions about math, please ask your school counselor. We'd be happy to have that conversation with you. Okay, so here we are going to choose our PE preference. Your ranking doesn't guarantee that you will be placed in that class, but we are going to do our best. So my choices for my number one choice, PE team sports, strength and conditioning, or dance. And that might be, we'll have to determine what level would be appropriate for that. But maybe my number one choice is strength and conditioning. I'm going to put that as my number one. We also would like a second choice, please, just in case perhaps strength and conditioning doesn't have quite enough room. Then my second choice would be PE team sports. Now, this question says, if space allows, I would like to include more than one physical education class in my schedule. So for example, if perhaps I was scheduled into PE team sports in first semester, if space would allow, I would love to also be scheduled into maybe a strength and conditioning class in second semester. This is something awesome that for some of us that really need to move our bodies throughout the day, you really thrive and do well with schoolwork when you get to have a PE class. This is for you. So either yes, I'd really like that, or no, even if there's space, I don't want to include more than one PE class in my schedule. So make a decision for you. Maybe I'm a friend that really loves to move. So yes, I would love to include more than one PE class in my schedule if space allows. Next is for my DLI friends. If you are planning to continue in Chinese next year, please click yes. And if not, just leave it blank. Okay, so here's our elective choices, and we know that this is super important. So let's go through this together. So it says important. Ta-da! Your school counselors and admin use these elective rankings to make school-wide class offering decisions, staffing decisions, and build individual student schedules. For these reasons, there will be absolutely no schedule changes for elective classes in your top 5. So we're asking you to rank 1 to 7. If you are put in classes in your top 5, which almost every single student should be, we are not going to, make schedule changes for you in August if you say, I don't really vibe with guitar anymore, Miss Samantha. I would rather take this. If it was in your top 5, we're not going to make that change. So next, it says involvement in programs like DLI, honors, or special education are going to take first priority when building your schedule because, of course, academics comes first, with your ranked elective choices taking second priority. So please carefully rank your elective preferences from 1 to 7, with 1 being your top choice, the one that you absolutely must have in your schedule. And if, when you enter your choices, if you either accidentally or purposefully choose duplicate classes or classes you've already taken, your school counselor is put in a pretty tricky position, and we are just going to have to choose your electives for you. And no one wants that, so let's not do that to ourselves. So if you lose your paper, here's the reference for you. And then if you're interested in being a student aide and or a peer tutor, here is that separate application form for you too. Okay, so you can see in the Google form, there's space for my 7 elective choices. My number 1 is the class I absolutely must have. You can see I can scroll all the way down and here's every single choice. My number 1 choice is Latinas in Action. I am so excited about that class and about community and tutoring, so that is my number 1 choice. Then I'm going to go through and click. Of course, you took so much time. You are taking your time. You're being very purposeful in your choices. I just don't want you to watch me, think. So I'm just going to click through here. Okay. So now I'm going to go through and make sure that I meant for this to be my number 1, I meant for this to be my number 2, and that there's no duplicates, so there's no repeating classes. And what I can see is if you caught it as well, I accidentally put journalism in my number 7 and my number 2 spot. Now, of course, that's really confusing for my school counselors. So I want to make sure that I correct that. So yes, I actually meant to put journalism as my number 2, but what I meant to put here was debate 1. So I'm just going to go through again. Okay, no repeats. Everything is exactly how I want it to be. Great. Next, locker. So yes, I would like to be assigned a top locker if possible. Yes, I would like to be assigned a bottom locker if possible. Or no, I do not want to be assigned a locker. I am a tall friend, so I'm going to say yes, I would love a top locker if possible. Then lastly, by signing my name below, I am confirming the following. So 1, I have carefully reviewed my elective rankings and confirmed that they accurately reflect my choices. Yes, we did that. I have checked my elective requests for duplicates or repeats. I understand that submitting duplicate requests will result in my school counselor choosing my electives. Yes, I understand. I understand that requests for schedule changes in my top 5 will be denied. Yes, I understand. And then lastly, I understand that my school counselors will build student schedules based on school-wide class offerings, which are subject to change at any time. So what that means is just once in a while, there aren't enough students that sign up for a class, and we can't justify having it on the schedule, basically. So for example, last year, only about 12 or 14 kiddos requested French 2, and that just wasn't enough for us to what's called carry the class or offer it. So we had to move on, not offer French 2, and then go to your next choice. So that can happen. And of course, if you want French 2, definitely make sure you click that. And now I'm going to sign my name. All right, then I hit submit and I'm all done. We'll be right in to answer your questions and uh, happy clicking.